the channel, we finish up Heels and Faces Series 2 with Raven and Nick Gage.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Heels and Faces Series 2 unboxing and review. In today's video, we've got Nick Gage and we've got Raven. But for all your wrestling figure needs that are not Heels and Faces, make sure you're hitting up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there. And of course, we're going to do this unboxing like we do all the other ones on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there as well. And today, I guess we're going to start off with Nick Gage first. And I would say Nick Gage, probably the least popular figure in Series 2 for the most part. He just doesn't have the long storied history of the rest of the wrestlers in Series 2. I would guess, I don't know, I guess Kevin Sullivan, he might be a little bit on the slower selling side. But I got to think Nick Gage, just being a more recent performer, of course, being a part of GCW, which is nothing to sneeze at, as we do know. But it isn't quite the heights of an Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy, or a Raven with ECW, WWF, WCW, etc. So it'll be interesting to see how well Nick Gage sells. However, it's one of those things, too, where he's got a loyal fan base out there that I could see maybe jumping in on this one. So be interested to see how well this one performs for Zombie Sailor. I guess long way to get there. But it's definitely an interesting figure. And we do know we got a 2-pack with Matt Cardona coming later on down the line as well. So Heels and Faces, Zombie Sailor, deep in the Nick Gage business at this point in time. There's old Nick Gage looking only like a Nick Gage could look. You got the autograph there. You got the Ron Rudat corner, Heels and Faces, and then you got the figure on the bubble. And of course, bubble nice, tightly secured to the package. Big cross sell on the back. We got the tail of the tape down here as well. UPCs, all that kind of fun stuff. Let's see what it says about our friend Nick Gage. Nick Gage, 5'10", 215 pounds, from National Park, New Jersey. He was born in a national park. I'm sure it's just a town, but it sounds fun that it's like a national park out there. He's just living amongst the people in the forest. Who knows? But shout out to National Park. Anybody ever been there? Is it nice? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Nick Gage is the king of the ultra-violent deathmatch wrestling. Leader of the MDK gang. MDK all day? Maybe. Gage uses a pizza cutter to carve up the foreheads of his opponents, and I love a good pizza cutter. There's no doubt about it. You got the Ron Rudat drawings on the back, and of course you got the big cross sell on the back as well. All the Series 2 players in there. We got Bastion Booger as well. The upcoming 2-pack. You get the Bloody Variant Edition, so a lot of people will probably want that to signify that match, of course, as we do know. But without further ado, going to get him off of the card here. Got to be careful. You got a pizza cutter and a light tube here. Very small accessories. You never want to lose an accessory. That's for sure. For sure. See you later. Goodbye. That's a bad day at the office to lose an accessory. But speaking of, we got one little light tube action here. It's broken off. He already smashed somebody over the head with it. But we get a nice light tube accessory. I like the little green on the end. That really makes it feel like a light tube with that green ending for whatever reason. But it does. You can carve up somebody with it if you want to. Do whatever you want. Choose your own light tube adventure, really, at the end of the day. And then you get the pizza cutter, and it actually does roll, which is a nice attention to detail on this one. Little black handle, but of course, he loves to carve people up with the old pizza cutter. Man, a bad day at the office. Pizza cutter's not just for pepperoni pizza anymore. For foreheads these days. Who knew? But then you get Nick Gage right here. It does say HC, and it does say the man, Nick Gage right there. GCW, MDK on the camo shorts, looking really nice. Got kind of the leg sleeves going on there, the black tennis shoes, red soles on the back. Nick Gage looking good on the back there as well. Got a bandana that's sculpted in. Bald head, of course, got the beard there. But man, it looks identical to Nick Gage. They killed it on this head sculpt. Looks just like it. Throwing up the sign, throwing up the gang symbols right there. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you throw those up from time to time? You do got that going there. And then you got a hole in the hand here to hold something. It is unfortunate, though, that you can't hold two weapons at the same time. Nobody wants to lose their weapons. I really wish this had a hole in the hand here and you could slide this in. He could at least hold this, because now what do I do with this? I don't want to lose it. I don't really want to baggy it away and stuff. Where could you put this? I'm not exactly sure. There's nowhere to store it on him, anything like that. So I would have liked to seen two holes, two accessories, be able to hold both of them. I think it would have displayed nice with both of them. It is what it is, though, at the end of the day. And, of course, he does got hands that are movable on this one. Hands should be removable. Yep, hands removable. We're seeing that a lot more in this series than we did the first series. We saw Danhausen and Earl Hebner with removable hands in the past, but Nick Gage has those as well. Of course, his arms go all the way around. Waist articulation, head back forth, and that is it for articulation. We're accustomed to that in the retro-style game. But, man, a very good-looking Nick Gage figure for what Nick Gage is. He's not going to be for everybody. There's a lot of people buying this line. I guarantee probably skipped out on the Nick Gage just because it's not for them. I understand that. But for modern collectors, GCW collectors, I don't know if you can get much better than this Nick Gage. I think it looks pretty much on brand, pretty much on point for Nick Gage right here. And, of course, does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? Uh-oh. Doesn't look like he wants to fit. At least that foot didn't. Oh, this foot will, though. He will fit on a Mattel stand. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. Of course, got Matt Cardona. We know they're coming in a 2-pack down the line. Bloody variant editions. But you can do GCW Homecoming all these years later. You can reenact it at home if you want to. But Nick Gage, looking good. Not my favorite out of the set by any means, but for what it's representing and what he's trying to look like, I think Zombie nailed it on this one. I think it looks really, really good. So kudos on the old Nick Gage. Now we got Raven, and Raven is an interesting one as he was uppriced from the others. He's got a little bit more detail than some of the other retro figures, so he cost a little bit more. Originally, he was supposed to ship separately. I guess he ended up catching up with the rest of the gang, and he did go out with the complete Series 2 set. Of course, Raven, an all-timer. I fell in love with Raven as a kid in ECW. I was all in on the Raven-Tommy Dreamer feud way back in high school. Absolutely loved it. Loved his run in WCW. Loved him going to WWE. Didn't quite work out like we really wanted it to. But I always enjoyed Raven's character. I always enjoyed Raven's wrestling matches throughout the years. Still to this day. And I'm happy we get him in the retro line. Get me a Tommy Dreamer to go right side by side. Hopefully Zombie and Heels and Faces are working on a Tommy Dreamer. I would love that. But Raven looking good. We got the Ron Rudat corner once again. Heels and Faces. Got him on the bubble. Glamour shot. You even got a little Ministry there because he's wearing a Ministry shirt. Shout out to old Al Jorgensen. I'm not a real Ministry guy, though. They don't really do anything for me. But shout out to Al. I'm sure he's watching. But, of course, very sturdy on the bubble, as we see. On the back, cross-sell, jibber-jabber. Got the blurb. Let's see what it says about our friend Raven here. Height, 6'1", 235 pounds, from Short Hills, New Jersey. How did he get that name? Short Hills? A lot of hills in this town, but they're all short. That's what they said. But, of course, Nick Gage, also from New Jersey. So we got two New Jersey guys here representing in this review. The twisted and tortured soul known as Raven rules the land of extreme. Raven has had many bloody battles with his arch nemesis, former child best friend, Tommy Dreamer. There you go. Let's get that Dreamer figure. An expert in manipulation, Raven turned the Sandman's own family against him. Never forget that one. Give me a Sandman, too, while we're at it. I'll take all of them here. You got the Ron Rudat drawing on the back, and then, of course, the big cross-sell of everybody that's coming in the line. Hopefully, Series 3, we don't have to wait a whole lot longer for. Hopefully, we can get those in hand by, like, early spring would be great, 2024. We'll see what ends up happening with that one. But without further ado, we're going to get Raven off the card. Raven's going to be a good one here. It's going to be interesting. They put a little extra love in the Raven figure. So we're going to see how that all nets out. If I can get it without absolutely destroying the packaging, we'll see what we can do. There we go. Got it. Raven, we'll see you later. Goodbye. All right, we got Raven out of the package. Looking very interesting out of the package here. I love that he's in the Raven pose, of course. We all remember that pose. He did it all the time, of course. The head sculpt looks like Raven, no doubt about it. Really reminds me of the Toy Biz Raven, which was okay. I'm not a big Toy Biz WCW fan of that action figure line, but I always thought that Raven was pretty cool. He had the Daredevil t-shirt going on. But this head sculpt reminds me a lot of that one there, which I guess it should. It's a Raven figure. Got that iconic necklace on him. Got the Ministry t-shirt, what we talked about. They did get licensed for Ministry shirt. You got a beautiful flannel wrapped around his waist here, like he's right out of the grunge era in Seattle, of course. Got the cut-off blue jeans, of course, with holes in them. You got the black knee pads going on. Even some tattoos peeking around on the leg there. That's nice attention to detail. Got the black boots going on, the Doc Martin style boots going there. And then you get the soft goods leather jacket. I think that is a really, really nice touch on this figure. I think that is pretty cool as well. Now, it's going to be interesting trying to get this jacket off, which might take some work here. I might have to play around with this, but I think you can pop the hands off is probably the way to do this, I would have to imagine. If they pop, yep, they do pop off. So that's going to help a whole lot getting this jacket off. Can I get it off? Okay, there we go. That's not a bad deal. I thought it was going to be extremely hard. It was going to take me like 20 minutes to do. It was harder to get in to get the hands off, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to get these hands off. There we go. Got that hands off. We're going to take that jacket right off. Actually, jacket goes off way easier than I would have ever imagined it to. So kudos to that. The hands were the hardest part to get on and off, which I'm kind of shocked at. You're going to have to really work those back in. But I'll get them there, of course, as usual. That one pops in pretty good. This right hand, oh, really fighting. Really fighting to go back in. I might have to play around with that one a little bit more. Rust never sleeps. Got the tattoo over there. Got the other tattoo on the back. You got the black elbow pads going on here. They are painted in. You got the wrist tape as well in white. 2 fists of fury for Raven. He's not messing around. He's throwing punches in bunches. But boy, I can't get this second hand back in. Yeah, it's not going in on me. I'm going to have to really heat that up or something, or it's just a weird peg. Not exactly sure what's up. The other one pops right in. This one not wanting to go in there. So I'm going to play with it. I do not want to break it off in there. That is for sure. So watch out. Buyer beware. Or know your own stuff, I guess. Know what you're doing there. But very interesting. You do got the arms that move around all the way around on here. You do get a bend at the elbow, which we don't see a whole lot. And then you do get some side to side. We talked about the hands being removable as well. Waist articulation, head articulation, and then even the legs move out. Look at that. He can do the splits. He can do his legs up. There is a lot of articulation for a retro figure. And look at this. The flannel even comes off if you want it to. So there's a lot going on. That's why this one was a deluxe price point figure, of course, as there's a lot to go on with this one here. I'm also having issues with the legs on this one here, on the right leg compared to the left. The left is moving very easily. The right is not moving very easily. So some weird quality issues on mine here, at least. I'm not exactly sure about yours. You'll have to check out your figure and let me know. But I'm really bummed this hand will not go back in for me. I don't know. Hopefully a little heat will do that for me. We'll see what happens. But a good representation of Raven. I really love all the extra bells and whistles here. I mean, the soft goods leather coat is absolutely next level. You got a real zipper, a real working zipper on here, a belt buckle, some real zips. Yeah, some zips on here. You got some of that going on. Just a lot of attention to detail for a coat like this. Usually we'd see this sculpted in, things like that. You wouldn't imagine getting a soft good to this level on something like this. So really kudos to that whole thing. It just seems that I'm having some issues with some of the legs and the arm on this one. And it could just be my copy. You never know how that might go. But I definitely want to call that out there. I did forget this does clasp together. It's got a little pin in here. So you do clip that together around his waist. But I like that this is removable as well. So a very, very good looking Raven figure. There's a lot to like about this figure. A little quality issues on my end. Hopefully yours does not have that issue like mine does. But I do not mind this figure at all. I like the extra love and extra attention to detail they gave this one. Just down to like the ministry shirt. That is an extra attention to detail. The flannel being removed. The next level jacket. A very, very good figure. There's no doubt about it. And the Nick Gage figure, a very good figure as well. Just maybe not as popular as somebody like Raven. I think that's a fair assessment. And Raven does fit on a ringside collectible stand for those keeping track at home as well. So there it is. Old Raven and Nick Gage. What are your guys' thoughts? These pickups for you? Easy passes? Easy pickups? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. A couple of very small gripes on Nick Gage. Would love to be able to hold both accessories. Raven, some quality issues. Going to have to work through, see if I can get those fixed, or we'll see what happens. But all in all, pretty good solid figures here at the end of the day in the retro landscape. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day, and then some. We got videos on 2 YouTube channels, so make sure you subscribe to both of those. And then don't forget about the Patreon for early access to both channels' videos and your best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Nick Gage and Raven 2, I am Kyle, and I'll see you all real soon.